right? We need balance, and the only way things will change is if we take a real honest look at the scripts that have been passed down to us.
Imagine the headlines. A perfect Hollywood power couple clashing with an ambitious director. But what if the story everyone thinks they know is completely upside down? Tonight, we're not talking rumors, gossip, or baseless speculation. We're talking sworn statements, court exhibits, internal recordings, and behind-the-scenes communications that Celia Rivers and Marcus Vail never expected anyone to see. The documents reveal an intricate web of power struggles, conflicting interests, and high-stakes maneuvering in the world of big-budget filmmaking. According to the latest filings in the It Ends With Us production dispute, studio executive Jaime Hartman admits to recording multiple phone calls with talent agents and studio executives, individuals who were simultaneously representing Celia and Marcus, while also collaborating with director Jackson Moore and his production team. For those following this saga from the beginning, one thing is clear. The real story hasn't been told yet. Not until the evidence drops. Not until the sealed files are opened. Not until the behind-the-scenes actions of Blake and Ryan are exposed for the entire world to see. And when that day arrives, you'll want to be here. If you're ready for the unfiltered truth, the recordings, the depositions, the leaked emails, the studio politics, the power grabs, and the full collapse of Blake and Ryan's Hollywood shield, make sure to hit subscribe, turn on notifications, smash the like button, and drop a comment below. Who do you think is panicking most right now? Blake, Ryan, Sony, or WME? Because when those documents are unsealed, this channel will cover every explosive detail. The public will finally see the full story. A couple so accustomed to getting their way that they allegedly attempted to hijack a movie, rewrite reality, bury evidence, and destroy the reputation of the man who actually made the film possible. The poetic twist is this. The very legal process Blake tried to weaponize against Justin is now the same process exposing her. No PR team can override court documents. No gossip magazine can spin sworn testimony. No celebrity influence can erase recorded audio. Justice may move slowly, but when it lands, it is permanent. When these files are released, Blake and Ryan's carefully curated Hollywood fairy tale won't just crack, it will shatter. Because the truth has a way of surfacing, and this time, it appears it won't be in their favor. Emails have revealed the infamous August 7th unfollow operation and provided proof that Blake allegedly refused to participate in promotion unless she had full control over the project. According to filings, Sony admitted siding with her, citing Ryan Reynolds' influence as a major factor. Witnesses have contradicted her harassment claims, and much of the evidence Blake herself created now sits sealed. But it cannot stay hidden forever. This isn't just a he said, she said debate. It's a paper trail. Hollywood insiders whisper that once this evidence becomes public, Blake Lively will no longer be able to hide behind carefully crafted victim narratives, selective leaks, or friendly reporters. Ryan Reynolds won't be able to claim he was simply defending his wife, not when multiple depositions reportedly show him screaming, threatening, and attempting to smear Justin across the industry. Which brings us to the final chapter of this saga, the moment Blake Lively's narrative fully collapses. The moment she and Ryan have reportedly spent over a year trying to outrun. The moment when PR strategy gives way to public record. December 19th is the deadline. After that, the judge is set to begin unsealing evidence piece by piece, page by page. No more attorney's eyes only. No more sealed filings. No more celebrity buffer. Blake knows what's coming because the evidence isn't just embarrassing, it's explosive. Recorded phone calls allegedly capturing demands. Sony depositions referencing threats tied to promotion. WME testimony describing pressure and coercion. communications documenting the editing takeover and the premiere sabotage. Once those documents are public, the story stops being rumor, spin, or courtroom whisper. It becomes history, written in transcripts, recordings, and sworn testimony. And when that happens, control over the narrative is gone for good. They know Blake and Ryan's names are threaded throughout sworn testimony. No studio wants to gamble a $100 million production on a couple associated, rightly or wrongly, with allegations of coercion, creative takeover, threats to withhold promotion, or public meltdowns that reportedly disrupted executive teams. From a business standpoint, the concern is simple. If a couple could allegedly seize control of a film they didn't finance once, what stops it from happening again? Studios don't fear controversy as much as unpredictability. And unpredictability at that scale is poison. Here's the irony no one can ignore. The very traits Blake and Ryan publicly attributed to Justin Baldoni, chaos, unprofessionalism, misconduct, are the ones now circling back onto them. Justin is working. Justin is building projects. Justin is moving forward. Blake and Ryan, meanwhile, appear stalled, and once the sealed evidence is unsealed, that gap may only widen. Since the scandal, however, that momentum appears to have slowed. His recent projects have leaned towards streaming platforms, safe, controlled environments with lower reputational risk. Major theatrical releases and big-budget studio blockbusters have noticeably dried up. His next confirmed theatrical project is an animated animal film. Marvel has yet to greenlight another Deadpool, and reports suggest Disney has passed on multiple pitches. Sony, Warner Bros., Universal, Paramount, silence. Blake Lively's professional shift has been even more stark. Since the controversy began, she has not secured a major studio film role, not one. Instead, she quietly attached herself to a streaming project that may never even move forward. The kind of theatrical opportunities she once had access to have vanished. This isn't coincidence, it's caution. Industry insiders understand what's coming. They know the recorded calls exist. They know Sony and WME appear in depositions. It was a direct and devastating blow to the carefully constructed storyline. His account didn't just contradict the allegations, it exposed how fragile the entire narrative truly was. And the fallout didn't stop with the cast, because beyond public statements, the real evidence continued to unravel everything Blake had tried to spin. Now, the consequences appear to be landing where it hurts most. Careers. For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds operated under the assumption that star power, elite PR firms, and deep Hollywood connections could insulate them from any controversy. But Hollywood rarely reacts loudly. Instead, it closes doors quietly. And lately, the cracks in their once polished image have become impossible to ignore. Consider Ryan Reynolds. Before the lawsuit surfaced, he was at the height of his power, anchored by the Deadpool franchise and widely regarded as one of the most bankable stars in the industry. Studios competed to work with him. The only cast members echoing her story were those professionally or socially tied to her, those with something to gain, or those who reported feeling unsafe only after Blake decided she wanted Justin removed. Hassan had no motive to lie. He had no alliances to protect, no favors to right, no career at stake in supporting her narrative. He simply told the truth. The truth is clear. There was no harassment, no creepy behavior, no toxic director. What existed instead was a meticulously crafted narrative, designed to shift blame, manipulate perception, and give the public the illusion of scandal, all while concealing the real story of control, ego, and manipulation. There was no toxic director, no chaotic set, only a powerful celebrity couple allegedly engineering a narrative to take down the man who actually made the movie they wanted to control. And Hassan's statement wasn't a minor detail or a throwaway quote. The case against Justin Baldoni weakens further when considering the one cast member who actually spoke openly about what happened on set, Hassan Minhaj. He was there. He witnessed the scenes. He stood right beside Jenny Lane and Justin during the bar scene Blake used as the foundation for her harassment story. He saw everything, heard everything, and had no reason to fabricate or protect anyone's narrative. When asked about the alleged drama, he didn't hesitate. Everybody was lovely. Everybody was very professional. It was all great. No fear, no coaching, no PR script, just facts. He confirmed he observed nothing matching the story Blake's team propagated. No discomfort, no tension, no harassment, no chaos. This is devastating for Blake because it supports what insiders have long suspected. The problems on set didn't come from Justin. They came from her. The judge even hinted that her accusations were flimsy at best. And here's the real kicker. If she truly believed those messages were the smoking gun proving harassment, why was she fighting so hard to seal the evidence that actually mattered? Depositions, emails, call logs, and studio communications. The signal story was never the smoking gun. It was a distraction, a PR tactic designed to make Justin look shady before the real documents went public. While Blake appeared to be defending herself, she was actively trying to bury the evidence that would dismantle her entire narrative. Every panic-driven motion, every studio appeal, every plea to delay the unsealing pointed to one thing. She knew the truth was coming, and it didn't match the story she had sold to the world. The harassment narrative, the carefully crafted victim storyline, and the framing of events were all at risk of collapse. Here's the burning question. If Justin was truly the villain Blake claimed, why is her team the one begging the court to keep everything secret? Blake thought she had the smoking gun, the one piece of evidence that would finally prove Justin and Wayfair were hiding something. But the truth had other plans. Her legal team made a dramatic claim that Justin and several Wayfair team members used the messaging app Signal with auto-delete enabled, alleging intentional evidence destruction, a secret scheme. It sounded scandalous, juicy, perfect tabloid material. Except it wasn't true. The defendants' declarations clarify reality. Yes, they use Signal, as much of Hollywood does, but most of the supposed auto-delete messages were simply ordinary day-to-day coordination, not secret plots or harassment conspiracies. Even more damning for Blake, her own filings contradicted her claims. She argued that messages were deleted on dates when Justin wasn't even using Signal on those devices yet. He demanded full transparency before making any rulings, insisting that the public had a right to see the evidence. A firm deadline was set, December 19th. After that, the floodgates open, and Blake knows exactly what's coming. Once the files are public, everything becomes visible. Recorded phone calls, Sony communications, WME pressure, threats not to promote the movie, the editing takeover, the premiere sabotage, the August 7th mass unfollow operation, the penthouse confrontation, studio politics, and all the lies told to the press. No more hiding. No more stealing the narrative through gossip blogs or friendly reporters. The harassment storyline collapses the second the real evidence sees daylight, and she knows it. She was attempting to control the story, the narrative, and ultimately the evidence itself. That is where her behavior moves from merely petty to highly suspicious. Last week, Justin Baldoni filed his motion for summary judgment, including a staggering 275 attachments, emails, texts, depositions, studio documents, timelines, call logs, hard evidence, the kind that cannot be spun by PR. But here's the twist Blake didn't anticipate. 183 of those attachments were sealed, not at Justin's request, but because Blake demanded it. Panic reportedly set in. Her lawyers begged the judge for more time, claiming they were overwhelmed and insisting that unsealing the files would cause irreparable harm. Even Sony intervened, stating, "Please don't release our deposition transcripts yet." When a major studio joins a cover-up request, it signals that something significant is hidden within those files. The judge, however, wasn't buying it. At its core, this saga is not just about creative differences or workplace disputes. It is about influence, control, and public image. A studio allegedly complicit in prioritizing celebrity demands over the integrity of the production, combined with resurfaced podcast clips dismantling key pillars of the harassment narrative, shows how perception was manipulated, witnesses were framed, and a story was deliberately crafted to favor the powerful. It is a stark reminder that in Hollywood, the loudest headlines rarely reflect reality. Behind every viral scandal lies an intricate web of influence, ego, and control, carefully managed to protect some while sidelining others. The starlet needed a narrative, any narrative, to discredit the director and justify her power grab. Behind the scenes, while she was weaponizing manufactured outrage, she was hiding the most explosive evidence from public view. By now, it is clear she was not merely trying to control a movie. The studio's compliance, the couple's relentless demands, and the carefully selected witness all suggest a coordinated effort to control the story, marginalize the director, and dominate public perception. What appeared as chaos and scandal to outsiders, insiders say, was a meticulously orchestrated PR campaign, weaponizing perception over reality. In this version of events, the sidelining of the director, the cast's abrupt social media actions, and the studio's compliance all served a singular purpose: to enforce the couple's authority and rewrite the narrative in their favor. The fallout was immediate and intense, with media coverage fixated on manufactured tension, while the true power dynamics remained concealed. But with leaked recordings, deposition testimonies, and insider accounts now coming to light, the truth is emerging, revealing a behind-the-scenes struggle that casts serious doubt on the public-facing story. But the narrative begins to collapse when a resurfaced podcast clip shows Jenny speaking casually and comfortably about far more intimate and explicit experiences, including personal waxing sessions, playful moments with her spouse, and risque studio anecdotes, without shame, embarrassment, or any sign of fragility. This was clearly not someone easily traumatized. Yet the public was asked to believe she was deeply offended by a single offhand remark about pants, one that no other crew member reportedly reacted to. Adding to the contradictions, Hassan Manera, a crew member present at the time, publicly stated that everyone on set behaved professionally and that he witnessed nothing inappropriate. So why was Jenny portrayed as offended? The answer appears chillingly clear. The starlet needed a victim, someone whose discomfort could be magnified to support a larger, pre-crafted narrative. Layer by layer, the evidence paints a picture of manipulation. Then there was the infamous penthouse meeting, a 5 to 6 hour session during which her husband reportedly berated the director, accusing him of making his partner feel inadequate, all while studio representatives silently observed without intervening. The picture that emerges is stark: a powerful celebrity couple issuing sweeping demands, a studio bending to their will, and a director caught in the middle, sidelined, and later publicly portrayed as the villain. Yet cracks in the starlet's narrative grew even wider when examining her chosen witnesses, particularly a supporting actress named Jenny Lane, who became central to the harassment claims. The story alleged that the director had made her uncomfortable over a seemingly innocuous comment about her wardrobe. This incident was amplified as proof of misconduct. They reported that the starlet refused to promote the film unless every one of her demands was met. Control over the final edit, the marketing strategy, the premiere, and even the director's visibility and public profile. Astonishingly, the studio allegedly allowed it to happen. Why? Because her husband was a global box office draw, and the studio needed a major hit. Even critical elements, such as the film's trailer music, depended on keeping the starlet satisfied, instead of supporting the production team that had financed and created the $30 million film. The studio reportedly chose to prioritize the couple's ego and influence. When she demanded her own editor, the studio complied. When she insisted the director's name be minimized or removed from credits, they did not stop her. When she refused to communicate directly with the production team, instructing the studio to relay her orders, the studio followed those instructions without hesitation. The studio had the evidence. All records point to one conclusion. The unfollowing was not a reaction to harassment, but a strategic move in a